Okay. Welcome, one and all, to the Dudecast. Thank you for joining us. We are the Abiding Dudes. I'm Adam. This is Cal.
Hey,
This
everybody.
is Skits. In the Macho Man lenses here and the wizard beard. And joining us this week, very especially from the, I was going to say great, but from the state of Ohio, is Arch.
Accurate.
Hello, Arch.
Hey, good to be here. And yes, that's very accurate about Ohio. So
The state of Ohio.
Astronauts, man.
we do have
Astronauts.
those. Yeah.
Fucking A. Oh, and can I just say thank you, Skits, for showing up this week with a way better microphone than I think you've ever had. So that's rad. Can finally.
This is the OG mic. I bought it for $6 at your local dollar store.
It's worth every penny because I can actually hear you now when you interject. Before I just saw your lips moving and heard a faint whisper in the distance. So fucking A. All right. Well, sorry to those of you on video who just saw that. So yeah, we are here. We are back. We've been on a little hiatus, but glad to be back with a new guest here. So I am actually really excited about this because Arch is doing something amazing in Ohio and setting up a real Dudeist ministry. You know, a little bit of an achiever here. We got, but in the most doodly way, as far as I can see. And the thing I was most impressed with, Arch, you can fill me in on the details here. But the thing I was most impressed with is that you were actually looking at going ahead with a Dudeist temple, which I think is a phenomenal idea. I think if someone could do it right, and not get too uptight about it, I think it'd be a rad thing and probably like a, pilgrimage site for a hell of a lot of people. So why don't we start with that? Tell me about this whole thing. What the hell are you doing over there?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I should preface it by saying that I am bipolar and I get lots of great ideas when I'm manic that I, start and then, I maybe pick them up again a year later, sometimes years later. But I did kind of like come up with this relatively recently, but I just kind of thought it'd be cool. Like I love going to camp when I was a kid, and like stuff like that. I thought maybe a Dudeist retreat center might be something. Like you said, it could be a bit of a pilgrimage. People might enjoy just, going there and maybe a week of taking her easy and having some White Russians and some other stuff to imbibe. And I thought, maybe that'd be fun. So like I was looking into it and it's really not that hard to start a nonprofit and, get your tax exempt status and all that. So you just really need like some bylaws and 3 people who aren't related. And that's pretty much it. So I thought, maybe I'll give this a shot. So it's a very slow. I think I'm moving at a doodly pace on it as well.
Hell yeah. As well you should,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to rush anything.
Right. But no, and I think that's amazing. And I would definitely even, be one of those 3 people that's not related to get that shit going. I bet Cal and Skits would sign on too if we don't ask them to do anything. So, but
a whole lot of responsibility.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think that'd be cool. And like the thing to me, and this, I'll open this up to the general discussion, is like one of the questions I have about Dudeism, and the answer besides being this podcast is like to the question, where does Dudeism go from here? Like the movie happened. We're not doing a sequel. Nobody's doing a whole lot of original shit. And what the original creators found is when they tried to do something like, I think it was like Lebowski University or Dudeist University or something, they found that there just weren't a lot of people who wanted to contribute, original ideas to that kind of thing and really flesh it out. So I think it's going to take more, more something to get something going. But like, where does Dudeism go from here besides down?
I think that the retreat is a great idea. I think that'd be a great thing to replace the former Lebowski Fest. Do it something like a festival type deal, like Electric Forest and all the hippie ones. Yeah, especially if it's going to be in Ohio, because I'm in southern Indiana. That's only a hop, skip, and jump. Cal, Adam, I'll tell you guys all about it. It
No,
sounds
dude,
like it could be
I'd
awesome.
no. If you make this happen, I will get my ass out there one way or the other. Hand to God, man, I'll do it. But
I mean,
that's the thing. Like, there's Dudeists just everywhere, you know. And I feel like something as epic as this, like, you could even do 2 a year, you know, one in the spring, one in the fall, or something. Like, I don't know. I just think there's a huge
does
potential.
anyone know what happened? Oh, sorry. I was
With
just going to ask,
Lebowski
like,
Fest?
does what happened? Yeah, with that, because like I saw they were going to have it again this year, and then I just saw it get canceled.
For what?
Yeah, no, it was a huge thing, man. Fucking Louisville was rocking it, and the Rona happened, and it hasn't been able to make that revival again.
Yeah,
Right.
the main one was
That's a bummer.
coronavirus for sure. But why? You don't know why the recent one got canceled?
Yeah, I don't. I was wondering because it seemed like I was looking forward to trying to get down to that, and then
Yeah.
I canceled like a few days ago now, probably.
Damn. Okay.
It actually made me want to I would love to have something similar, like maybe a Lebowski Fest homage. And there's a really cool venue here in Dayton that does they do concerts and stuff. I found a local band that seems interested, and it would just really be getting the word out. But it's also one of those things where like I planned on moving to Bosnia last year. I got a divorce. I was moving out of the country, and then I met somebody who you just met a minute ago and decided to stay here and live here. And so, like, I wasn't really planning on having to work as much over there because it's a little bit of lower standard of living. And now I got a bunch of shit I got to do. And so, like, it's cutting into my Dudeism time,
Yeah.
Oh, you got to make sure that you abide at work. Got to abide at work. And you don't want to go to Bosnia, man. Go like North Pakistan. Be a goat herder.
Yeah, can I just ask, like, what the hell is in Bosnia?
And
Bosnia is amazing, man. You guys got to get. I'm trying to start a travel company, so maybe I can get a dude trip going. But it's amazing over there.
Okay.
It's like just amazing food. Like especially if you're a meat lover, then like you'll love it there. Everything is super cheap. It's like a beer is like maybe $2 at the most. You can get like a really really nice dinner for like $20 easily. And then just like the beauty of the country, the people are cool, lots of cool stuff to do, indoor and outdoor, arts, culture.
Wow.
Like they have a film festival every year in Sarajevo, so it's just really cool. But Dayton and Sarajevo are sister cities because of the Dayton Peace Accords, and I used to help manage that relationship. That's why I like to go there.
And do most people speak
awesome.
English, or do you speak the language?
I barely speak any. I know like some words. I can get by on some things, but pretty much anybody under 30 there speaks English easily.
Yeah, nice.
So it's easy to get.
Well, that's surprising. A lot of dudes end up in Thailand.
Yeah.
I haven't figured that one out yet.
Well, isn't where the creator lives?
That's cool. I haven't heard.
I think Oliver Benjamin lives there now.
Yeah.
Everybody just flocked to the promised land.
Yeah. Oh, I tried to send him a copy of my book, and I can't send it internationally, so I've just been too lazy to upload the e-version, but I bet it's not that hard. But fucking A. Well, yeah, man. I mean, hey, for listeners out there, maybe this podcast is what gets the whole thing going. But if there's anyone that has an interest in helping get this shit going with a Dudeist temple. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places we could do Lebowski Fest. I would feel bad. I'd be happy to set it up in California, where I live. Like, there's even a bowling alley, but like, I'm far from everyone. You know what I mean? Especially the East Coast. It's like hard to get much farther from a lot of people. So, I mean, Ohio or places like that makes way more sense.
I mean, I've never been to LA. I would love to go and see, some of the sights and stuff, but also Ohio is a little bit centrally located. We're the heart of it all, as we like to say.
Right.
So
right, exactly. Well,
it is for lovers.
That's Virginia.
That's us too. We claim all of the labels. All of them are ours too.
Right.
Ohio is for fentanyl addicts who put chili on spaghetti.
delicious, man. It's the best stuff ever.
Well,
Holy
I gotta go with the chili on the spaghetti. It is so good.
bro, you know that's going in a clip to promote this podcast. Like that's the whole clip from our latest episode. Completely out of context.
Don't knock Skyline. That's a
Oh,
chili.
man.
It's great.
That's rad. Well, Arch,
So
yeah.
I had never.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna go back on the conversation. I'd never thought of like a retreat type deal. So our whole thing throughout this podcast and even before when we were just meeting up to talk everything, dude, has always been trying to get like a Dudeist church going, a Dudeist temple, whatever. But like going places, like especially on time, is not a very Dudeist thing that I'm very good at. I can't speak for everybody.
Right.
But a retreat thing, something you can plan for like forever ahead, and it's not like fuck, dude, I gotta be somewhere at 6 o'clock on Thursday.
Right.
I was never much of a bowling league guy though either. That might be a lot easier for some of the other dudes.
Yeah.
Well, I get these ideas when I'm manic, and then like when I get depressed, they drop off, and so I revisit them when I'm not. But like, I had like grand plans at first for this, and I still love to eventually get there. But kind of my original vision, I guess, was getting some land, and I actually, funny story, did enter into a contract to get some land while I was manic, which is a problem with bipolar people. They make like large impulsive and purchases and stuff, but got some land under contract, and then I backed out, but it was like 2.5 acres, and I was thinking have some little like tiny houses, cabins people can stay in, because like I had a YouTube channel that did that, so I thought maybe I can film the process of it, get a YouTube thing going, get people wanting to come out there. So like I have all the plans, it's just I don't got the time or the money to do them. So I
That's
thought
a
maybe
phenomenal idea, though.
it'd be fun, I think, so I thought maybe with the church, enough effort of other people like all working together towards something, maybe that could become a reality of some type. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the mindset to have. That's the whole reason that we're doing all of this is we would love to aspire to do something great. Adam has his book. Cal has his looks and his very dudely demeanor. I'm a schizophrenic, so I also go through mania, and I end up on podcasts like this. We're all out here trying to do something, you know what I mean? As long as we keep pushing it, we don't fucking dud out, fucking nihilist over our own ideas. If somebody wants to rip off one of my doodly ideas, please do.
For sure.
Please do.
Run with it.
I would love to enjoy it without putting any fucking work into it whatsoever. That'd be excellent.
Exactly.
Oh man.
I mean, it brings up a good point, like, that they're like, I met with a bipolar group for a while, and like just the community there, people were like-minded and had the same kind of challenges and stuff was cool. And I feel like we're just as much of a religion, I feel like, as others. Like I've married people. I've also in a past life, I was a mediator, so I can divorce people too. We can do some, some group kind of sharing stuff. I tried for a while to have like a dude circle where we'd, get together and just like hang out and talk about what's going on in our lives, and like people could share advice or like get advice or whatever. And I feel like there's a real community aspect that I think TikTok probably is responsible for introducing me to, because I didn't get into it as much on Facebook maybe, but like TikTok, I feel like that's where I found more of a community almost of like fellow Dudeists.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There is this big community.
I'm gonna have to do some searching. I'm pretty new to TikTok.
Oh, dude, don't do it. The Chinaman will get all your information, and then get you.
I'm fucking doing it. They already have my information. I have a Samsung phone.
It's true. But yeah, but that's what I was just thinking about, is like there is a genuine community of like real people that really resonate with Dudeism and, the ethos and ideals and everything. And so it's like, what are just some ways that, Dudeists can connect and support each other? you know. And that's the thing, even if it's not a bipolar community, just like having a community, you know, is a cool thing, like a community that knows. Like I think personally that it's like really cool that you're so upfront with your, you know, the bipolar diagnosis, and that kind of explains, you know, the rhythms, the larger rhythms in your life. But like, you know, if you have friends that are willing to sort of help out when, you know, you're diminished, shall we say, or, you know, down in the dumps, you know, a bunch of gutters, then, you know, kind of smooth it out for you, you know, and even like even put a lid on the manic part, you know, right? So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I think it's something that kind of everyone understands to a certain degree. You know, everyone kind of goes through phases, but I know that this group here, you know, we've been doing this for over a year now. It must be like a year and a half, and you know, it's been great. So, yeah, definitely an idea worth spreading.
I don't know. Maybe do the maybe do the entire foundation with people that are severely bipolar. That way, like every year is just like a huge fucking surprise. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we forgot to like fucking clean up from last year and everything, but we have 4 bounce houses. So
Absolutely. I love it. That's a great idea, but I don't know. It would definitely be periods of lots of shit getting done and periods of absolutely nothing getting done.
Well, can I just ask, like, what are the cycles?
the way Dudeism was completely built.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what were you saying?
Well, I was just wondering, like how long are these cycles? Like weeks, months?
You know, there's 2 types of bipolar. Bipolar 1 is what I've got. Then there's bipolar 2, and they usually cycle faster, but like not as high or low lows. Whereas I'll generally, or other bipolar 1 people will have, you know, longer periods of mania and depression. And so like it could be months, especially if you get into kind of like this like hypomanic state where you're not like all the way far gone, but you're like, you know, very active. You're doing lots of things. It's kind of like the sweet spot that, you know, like when they talk about like manic people getting a bunch of shit done, like that's usually where it happens. Because once they go too far, then nothing they do makes any sense at all. So.
Right. Okay. Well, that's yeah. I appreciate you sharing about that. But yeah, I mean, you know, it seems an interesting thing. So I gotta ask, like, has Dudeism helped you sort of handle that? Like, how has Dudeism, you know, helped in your life in that way?
I would say for sure, just because so I grew up like in a very right wing evangelical family, and now I'm far left, pretty much atheist, and uh, exactly. So I, you know, I made a big turn, but like I do like miss kind of the community aspect of religion. You know, like I do
Yeah.
think that that part of it is kind of like going to be one of the things they got right about it, and so you know, I like having kind of a community. But I want more, which kind of like what goes back to the, you know, the dude circle idea or the physical church kind of idea. But like also just the perspective of like nothing really matters, you know. Like I know you kind of like as an atheist, like I believe that like in my head, but like I feel it more as like a Dudeist. Just like, you know, shit goes on. Like nothing you think is a big deal is gonna matter a year from now probably, and if it does, like you'll figure it out. Like there's no point in worrying about like outside of your control. So like I think that's what's helped me the most because like when I'm manic, I want to do it all because it all seems really important and it all seems like you know, I have to do it right then, and Dudeism kind of helps me slow down. Not to mention the drug regimen and everything, but that too helps.
Yeah.
But when I'm depressed, like everything gets blown out of proportion the other way. Of like, you know, if this doesn't happen, like, you know, it's the end of the world, and none of it really is. So I think it helps in that way.
And have you found like a greater awareness of the fact that you're doing this is helping as oh, like over time? Because I feel like it would, right? If you're always so aware that like, oh man, I'm manic right now, so that must mean that like I can't really trust this part of it, right? Or I'm depressed right now, so I'm overreacting a bit.
Yeah, I'd say yes and no. Like it does definitely help give me perspective, and be able to take a step back and, you know, tell myself that like it doesn't really matter. But so it helps in that way. But then also part of the shitty thing about mania, at least, usually you know when you're depressed, but like when you're manic, sometimes you don't know. You're just like doing a bunch of shit. You're just getting shit done. And you're like, man, I'm just super productive. And like it takes me.
I finally turned my life around.
Exactly. I'm gonna move out of the country, for example, or buy a bunch of land to start a retreat center on. So yeah, you can tend to do things that are impulsive, and you don't know, like, to warn yourself necessarily. So,
but
yeah, no. At least in my experience, a lot of it is fucking hindsight. You know what I mean? You start looking at some shit that you're doing, and like you get so far into something that you're like, "Fuck, man, I don't really know where I was going with this." Fuck, I did it again.
Yep, exactly. Very relatable, for sure.
But hey, I mean, sometimes you make that decision, you buy that land, and then, help shows up, right?
True, which may still have to, because I apparently breached contract, which means I think he can sue me for another 6 years.
Oh, shit.
So I could be in some deep shit. Like, you can make some pretty damaging life decisions when you're manic, and people do all the time, and that could have been one of them. We won't know. It's 6 years is up, I guess. But
wow, fucking A. Well, no, that never happened. Well, anyway, all right.
Yeah, I can tell you some.
Yeah, sorry, what?
Sorry. I was just gonna say, I can tell you some crazy shit I've done when I'm manic. I guess you can get into some really dumb shit.
I'm all ears. What was the worst?
I would say so. Like, one of the things about, and I want to talk to you sometime offline, maybe, or even during this, whenever. But like, I want to know more about your writing a book, because I actually started like a year ago, and that's one of those other things that's on the back burner. So like, congrats on completing it. That's like huge, amazing.
Thanks,
so nicely done. Yeah.
Thank you.
But this would go in my book eventually. But when I went to Bosnia last year, I was like in the process of going through a divorce. And I know that I'm an asshole for this, but it is also a symptom where like you get more like sexually motivated when you're manic. And so like in my mind, if I went to a strip club, that wasn't cheating. So I went to a strip club, but I went to it like a lot in Bosnia, and like they knew me by name and my drink, and they're like, we're showing up to the room there, and it was, yeah, like I wasted a shit ton of money, and I regret that the most about it. So,
wow.
I just went through like a shit ton of money. Like, I was going there, I would go to the casino first, and then like if I won, I would celebrate by going there, and if I lost, I would console myself by going there. Didn't really matter what happened.
Yep.
But like ended up doing some, I won't say just for legal purposes what I did in a bathroom that was like with some former Bosnian war soldiers who were just like pressuring me into doing a line of whatever this was, and then just like wanting me to play my guitar for him and stuff. So like it was just I don't remember a lot. I don't remember a lot of it. It was kind of a blur last year, but that was probably my most exciting manic trip, I guess you would say. But I managed to stay out of the hospital, so cheers to that.
Arch is out here living the fucking dream.
I am now. Now I'm living the dream. So that was not the dream. That was not sustainable, nor do I want to go back.
Right.
Well, dreams are meant to be woken up from. Yeah, short bursts.
True.
I like that. So on that note, Arch, I have to ask, like, in terms of the religious aspect of Dudeism, like what's interesting to you about that? Like, what do you really resonate with when it comes to, like, let's say the spiritual side of Dudeism?
So in a really long life ago, I was going to be a youth minister. That's what I actually went to school for. Starting out, I went to like 2 Bible colleges, and I finally left both of them, and I became a teacher instead. So like, but so I studied Christianity a lot, or at least like evangelical Christianity a lot, and thankfully I rescued myself from that cult. But because it is one for sure. But like I think that what's interesting about Dudeism to me is that it's kind of like the like ultimate end all to me of like kind of the Protestant movement to some extent, because it's just like they decided, okay, like individuals get to decide now what's right and wrong, and then like it just broke into all these different sects of Christianity and everything, and so like it's the logical conclusion is like it doesn't matter what you believe whatever the fuck you want, because like everybody, whatever works for you, that's cool. And like I like that a lot about the religion, because like I you know I hated being told what to believe and what to think, especially when it didn't make any sense, and this
Yeah.
making a religion based off of a movie and a fictional character is really like beautiful in the sense that like that's literally what every other faith did, but they're just older and we don't know what movies or stories they're based off of necessarily. So like
Right.
I think it's cool in that way.
Yeah, completely 100% honest with what it is.
Exactly. Love that.
Yeah. What do you think, Cal?
So I'm going to jump in here with some interesting, well, at least one interesting question. Try to interlude this since we are pretty close to our halfway point. When was the last time that you watched the movie?
Me personally,
Yeah.
it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, probably, and I was watching it with my soon-to-be brother-in-law. In
All
a
right.
hot tub.
So think back to the last time you watched the movie. I've seen it so many times that my favorite scene changes every time that I watch it. So thinking back to the last time you watched it, what was your favorite scene? What is the one that just fucking got you?
Man, I don't even know if I've ever really thought about that. I got to give that some thought. Like even the last time, what my favorite was. Man, I don't even know. I think maybe now it's well, it's kind of related to another project I've been doing with some T-shirts, but like just the scene in bed, Maud and him, and he's talking about, he was a member of the Seattle Seven, basically, because he was one of the original authors of the Port Huron Statement, and so like learning more about that, learning more about like who Jeff Dowd was and everything, like I just find that interesting, and because like I would say like I noticed that right around the same time that I just became super far left politically. And so, just finding out that kind of like it seems like the dude was a bit of a Marxist and Marx was a bit of a dude is kind of cool, I think. So,
Yeah, that's fucking interesting.
I would have to say I watched it earlier today. I'm fucking sick, so I've just been laying around. I want to, and I think we had a guest on a few episodes ago that brought up this scene. But when he is speaking with the sheriff, that scene today got me so. I mean, his fuck you attitude during that entire exchange. Every other time that I've watched the fucking movie, as somebody that used to be somebody else that used to speak with the police regularly as they took me to my new temporary home. It's not a I'm dumb and I'm just gonna fucking be an asshole throughout this because fuck the police and this and that. Yeah, you listen to his background and he knows the law. He knows his rights. So his entire like just laid back demeanor through the entire thing is just I don't know. It got me today.
but yeah, I mean, like, I'm just more interested now in like who is the dude like that we don't, because he is like even when he's talking with Brant, and the Big Lebowski's house, like he's very like just little bits and pieces, like we find out about him, occupying various administrative buildings and things, and like you just get these little tidbits, but they kind of paint a fuller picture once you learn more about, each of them. And so like it makes me I like that he doesn't need to like feel the need to tell everybody all the things he does, but he's probably like one of the most interesting guys you'll ever talk to. I want to like talk to him more,
Right.
Right. Yeah, him and Marty.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, and we've oh shit.
Have we
Shit,
now?
am I glitching? Okay, am I
It
back?
was a little bit,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we've talked about is almost that exact that exact thing, and how it probably makes sense that the dude was a more radical, political person in that way, but then also kind of realized the futility of those battles, like he saw where it was going, and thought just not worth it, might as well just go bowling and whatever. Like I think he sort of pushed up against it, and it pushed back so forcefully that he's just like, fuck it, and just walked away. But like that was, where he was, and he still probably believes a lot of those things, but it's just like, what can you do in the face of it? Because so much,
Well,
see, that's the thing, is like so much of society is bought into it. So yeah, sorry, Cal.
no, you're fine. I think to understand the dude, it's a lot of basis in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He's not as cynical as Dr. Gonzo, but it's kind of the same thing, that it was a radical in the 60s, and then Vietnam happened and Nixon happened, and all of a sudden it's like, well, what the fuck was the point of all that?
War on drugs.
And
Right.
he did not become self-destructive like Dr. Gonzo did, but he kind of checked out. And he's like, well, whatever, fuck it, let's go bowling.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how
and
I feel a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, you said it, man. Like, it's the way we feel too. Like, what is it? What good does it do in most cases to be aware of the injustices, to speak out against injustices, like on Facebook or to your friends or whatever? Like we know, it's like we all know as a society that there's this upper class of people that control and make all the laws and control and make all the prices and things and manipulate the money supply and all these things. And yet it still fucking keeps happening. like what, you know what I mean? Those of us who know it, those of us who wish to push against it, as an individual, it's just they squash you to make an example out of you. Like look how they treat people like Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, and the dude was like, I don't want to end up like that, so he focused
Which
on
like
arguably what's more important, things like friendship and fucking recreation.
which like I think maybe too, I don't know, and maybe I'm just realizing this now, but like, I feel like that's almost like, maybe why he's friends with Walter, just like this guy with such a completely different belief system. Because like at the end of the day, people don't, you know, care about what you know until they know that you care, kind of thing. And so like, you're not going to convert anybody who you're demonizing.
Yeah.
And so like, they may be assholes just like Walter, but like you probably kind of have to be friends with them, I think, to be able to have any kind of impact on their lives. And I guess like I resonate too with that whole, because like I became very like I 10 years ago was already describing myself as a lazy activist, and like I did the whole schooling route, and I actually I'm teaching some political science classes now at 2 local colleges. Those are like 2 of my part-time jobs.
Nice.
But like huge part of me that's just like none of this fucking matters either. Like, because you're not going to change anything. I'll tell you how you're not going to change anything, but you're not. And then because none of us are willing to like do the things needed to actually change things. And so short of that, we get the status quo. So like, why not just take it easy, kind of thing.
Yep. It's an ethos, for sure. But yeah, no, it's interesting because like,
I'm behind that 100%.
yeah. But like when we meet the dude, it's, you know, he's already gone through a lot of things. And so it's like Dudism has to take from just wherever he is in his, you know, wizened state, right? Anyway, I
Absolutely.
digress. But yeah. Skits, you have another question, don't you?
Oh, I always have another question, as long as there's not another one after this.
No.
Um, if you could put yourself in any scene as a
Oh, there
main
you go.
character, as a background character, somebody that has one line, what scene would you put yourself in, and who would you be?
Man, these are such great questions. I mean, I think I would definitely want to be the dude because that's who I just morphed into, anyways. I feel like in reality, but the scene, I don't know, like that. I almost feel like one of the dream sequences would be cool, you know, like the one with Mod, or I don't know, like that'd be kind of cool. Um, yeah,
All right, so he wants to do DMT and fuck feminists. You're all right, Arch.
You want to be the rug that the dude flies on.
I got a rug. Did I tell you guys that? I got a
No,
rug.
what?
I found one of those ones that's like an homage to the movie. It's got like the Jesus, the dude. It's got the Folgers can in the middle. Like it's a pretty sweet rug, man. It ties
Oh,
the room
shit.
together. Sure.
Hell yeah.
That's
The,
sweet.
the fiance is letting me keep it, you know. So I'm pretty. I chose well, you know.
Nice, hell yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I still got to talk mine into it, but like we're 10 years deep. Talking is, we're more I'll meet you in the backyard kind of people.
There you go.
All right, I have one more question. You said that you had performed weddings under the Dudeist cloak. How do your ceremonies go, man? Because I have also performed weddings, and I have a fucking blast with it. It is so much fun.
You know, I've never had one that was truly like, you know, I was marrying two dudists or anything like that. So I kind of just try to be, you know, do what people want me to do and everything. So I'm jealous because I never really had, like, I'd love to show up in my dude sweater and everything, but you know, I haven't had one of those. But there's normally just like we come up with them. I did do one. So one couple messed up and didn't get the marriage license in time. And so they came, you know, we did the wedding and everything. And then I was like, I got to do this again. You know, you guys have to come tonight to see you and sign the license, all that kind of stuff. We got to, like, that's literally my one job. So she was like, okay, cool, we'll do it again. And they came to like where I worked at the time. And that one I did, I just printed off like one of those vows from the website and used all, it was talked about strikes and gutters of life and everything like that. So I did, I guess, get to technically do one, but it wasn't like the full, I'd really like to do like a real full, you know, Dudist wedding someday.
So I mean, and that's all. I think that's all perception. I consider what I do as Dudist weddings. I do take a lot of what the bride wants. I don't really listen to the groom because, like, we all know who the fuck is actually in charge.
But what if you got two brides? I had one of those, and then you gotta figure out.
I have yet to do a gay wedding, and I've even been promoting to like cut off from the price. Like it just, I don't know. It'd be great fucking advertising. I don't care. Like I don't actually have to marry you guys, so I like whatever. As long as everybody is consensual and at legal age, I don't give a shit. And then I will just find the bridiest of the two brides. That's just how that works.
Works.
But yeah, it's just I like to sprinkle stuff in no matter what, no matter how high class the wedding is, because I've done some bigger ones. I've also married crackheads in the local bathroom at the park.
I love it. There you go.
Yeah, but make sure that you're sprinkling in lines. I always try to make sure that I'm drinking while I'm doing it, no matter where we're at.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The fuck did you just say? Yeah, is that a true story, Skits?
Oh, I like to drink while I do it. Oh, the crackheads? Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
like,
awesome.
I showed up. It was supposed to happen at the park. It was cold as hell. It started snowing and shit. Like nobody showed up except for their grandparents. And one of the grandparents went to use the bathroom and came back and said, "Hey, they've got heat in there. It's like 85 degrees. Let's just do it in there." So yeah, I married two crackheads with four very, very elderly old women in a bathroom at my local park.
There you go.
It's beautiful.
Love is love. I love it.
I love love. Fucking A.
Hey, look, if you got to go see somebody cycle, no matter how bad it is, they want you involved in it somehow. You go get involved.
Right.
And I made finally a website because being bipolar, I have like all these different things I want to do. So like I have a side mediation business, I got a side travel company business, I got a side wedding officiant business. So I made a website just to put them all in one place, and I use my TikTok handle as the username. So that's on there now. So I finally have a page I can send people who are like, "Do you do weddings?" I can be like, "Yes, here's my rates," and like frequently asked questions people have. And I'm trying to do like a little bartending / wedding thing because I got my bartending license. So like I can come marry you and then I'll give everybody drinks. I think that'd be sweet.
Well, what's the handle, man? Don't be gatekeeping.
Oh, it's Gem City Dudeist Priest .com. So yeah, that's the
Nice.
and then
Hell
handle.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm addicted to TikTok. I've slowed down some, but I love TikTok. It's like my favorite. I don't want to be on Facebook anymore or Instagram or anything else. I just want to be on TikTok all the time or making podcasts. So this is cool too. So
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I'm recently introduced to TikTok, so yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I keep getting kicked off for my stuff though.
you can get kicked off for a lot of shit. I've been banned multiple times on there. Knock on wood, I've always gotten my account back. They don't like weed, so definitely don't do weed on your live. That's why at the beginning I forgot, and I was like leaning over. I was like, "Oh, I don't have to do that on here." But like on TikTok, I lean over literally when I'm in lives, and then like inhale and like an exhale on camera. They don't seem to mind you exhaling on camera, but the consuming of it, they don't like that. I've narrowed that down. So
Oh man. So maybe we should just like, what if we just turn off a camera? But we could state for the record it's a tobacco product or pure CBD. So
they don't like
right.
tobacco. Period. They don't like smoking. Period. I should say they're more tolerant of tobacco, which is funny because it's definitely way worse for you. But
Yeah.
Whatever.
I just got one the other day for smoking a cigarette, and I literally smoke cigarettes in all of mine. I always have a cigarette.
Oh, the other thing you'll learn about TikTok is it's entirely arbitrary, and it does not have any sort of like clear guidelines. They call them community guidelines, but like I was just talking with a friend of mine, another dude you should definitely follow on TikTok, El Duderino. I think he's on like 2 point something now, but he's been banned a bunch of times too.
Yeah, we follow each other.
Yeah, so is that your handle though? Because there's another guy I'm talking about who's from a buddy of mine from New York, but
No, I follow fucking yeah. Me and him follow each other. I'm Bird Shadow Dude. TikTok. Everybody follow me.
there you go. But yeah, it's completely arbitrary. They said we were doing sexually explicit things, and we were just sitting here like this, talking, smoking, and so yeah, they don't give a shit. They'll just pick random videos.
Somebody went like this. Somebody did this hand motion. It's actually explicit. Like what? I'm rolling dice. What do you mean?
I mean, I still do it. I still do it manually.
Still roll the dice manually. Well, fucking A.
But yeah, they'll also really like, they won't promote the things you want them to promote ever either. Because like I've been trying to sell these T-shirts. A buddy of mine from Monrovia, Liberia, made this really super amazing drawing of Karl Marx in a dude sweater that's hyper realistic. It looks like a portrait, and I made them into some T-shirts and mugs. And I cannot get a video to go over like 700 views. I've got videos that have like hundreds of thousands of views. This one won't go above 700, and I don't. So I had like a few orders. That's it. But I think they're pretty sweet T-shirts.
Bro, they're
TikTok.
rad. By the way, yeah, I'm about to buy one offline, so we'll talk.
Sweet. Thanks, dude.
But yeah, no, yeah, send me the link.
Will do.
Fucking A, man. Yeah, I think someone's gonna start a temple, man. It's time. We can just get together and talk about the good word.
Absolutely.
Life, death.
My thing, like I would love a temple. My thing is the longevity of it. You know what I mean? A dude does not like to repeat himself.
Right.
It's true. Well,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think that if it's like someplace, that's why I was wanting to buy it like as like a property where I would actually live there and run it, because like then it would be much easier to keep all the stuff going, especially too like just having a wedding venue. I feel like if we had a thing where we had a cheap wedding venue for people with a bunch of Dudeist ministers who are willing to do it, I'm in the process of getting engaged in viewing all these venues. They are going for a shit ton. Like it's like at least $5,000 just in the door, and then out the door.
Wow.
Like I've seen them as high as like 10,000. And like if you made a cool one that maybe that's the benefit all the members get, they can come and do a wedding there. Like there's a lot of possibilities. I feel a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have you.
Yeah. Wow.
A lot of threads in all dude's head.
It's always the problem.
Man. I mean, if you will it, dude, it is no dream. So.
Well, this is true. I mean, maybe like if you guys want to get together regularly and discuss these bylaws, so I can get them written. That would be.
Fucking
maybe we can do that sometime. So.
We'll do.
I'm only good at breaking laws. I don't know if I could actually form one.
I mean, I get it.
We could do. We could just do a whole episode of the podcast with just all the interested parties. Who the hell wants to write these bylaws? Not fucking skits, so he could be the producer. But Cal is a legal eagle, so sure he'd have something to say.
Oh yeah.
Just don't ask him to type anything.
I'm a great secretary. I've actually never been. I've been on some boards. I've never been a secretary, so I could be the secretary.
There you go. Fucking A.
Good notes.
Well, the more legit we can make Dudeism, I think the better, because then people can just lean on that and say, look, I don't need to believe in one of these specific things that you've already designated. Like this is real. This is legit. I can marry people. I can.
Well, and also turn people onto a religion that will actually help them in their day-to-day lives and not the fucking fairy tales they're normally sold.
It's true.
Absolutely. I find it.
Cal just won the fucking internet.
There you go. There's another clip right there.
Exactly. Take anything from this fucking episode. Take that. And the part earlier where one of us said how badass it is to do stuff.
I would like to ask Adam how do you how did you get the book finished? Because I'm just not.
I'm telling you. Okay. So first thing is you just have to prioritize it. So you have to like you get so many vacation days or days out on a boat or out on a lake or whatever. Like you get so many of those days. You just have to turn those days into writing days and just decide that whatever you write on those days is going to be great. And then you can always look at it later, but you just decide you got to produce something, and then just let the creativity flow. And what happened with this book is at a certain point, I realized, this is going to sound like corny and a little woo woo, whatever. I don't fucking care. But at a certain point, the book kind of took on a life of its own, and it just started speaking to me in a way that was very easy to understand, that this is what else the book needs. This is what else, to fill in the gaps. Like when I looked at the book as a whole, it's like, what is it? You know, is it a complete thing, or is it just a mishmash of some whatever ideas that I had? And I realized it had to be a complete thing if I was going to be happy with it. So a lot of ideas that I had that I actually liked at the time, I had to let go of because they didn't fit into like this larger vision that I had. So yeah, so I don't know if that helps, but it's like, because creativity is a bitch, you know, and you can't always like plan it, you know, and you can't always tell when great ideas are going to come. But you know, like I read, okay, so I really love this book. It's called the War of Art, and it's all about like overcoming resistance on like a creative project, basically. Like you have something inside you that wants to be born, that wants to be, you know, put out into the universe, and you're the only one that can fucking do it. Sorry, like, sorry bro, it's up to you. And so the way to do it is like just to fucking do it, and don't care if you do it badly, don't care if you do it, you know, in a half-ass way, but it's just like the discipline to like prioritize yourself and do it, because you know it's going to be worth it when it's done, you know. And that's at a certain point what it was for me, because like there is a messy middle where it's like, fuck, like I really should give up, you know, this is too much, or whatever, or it's been too long, or I don't even know. But it's like the messy middle is real, you know, and you just got to say fuck it, you know, and just got to realize that, like, and do it for you. That, okay, so this is the other big thing. I decided at a certain point, like, I'm going to try to stop like imagining my audience, or like conceptualizing like my ideal reader or whatever. And I'm just going to make something that I like and that I'm proud of. And I'm sure it will, you know, I can refine it in that way. But at a certain point, it's like you do it just because it's fun for you, you know? And as I said, like, I don't care if I sell 1 million copies or whatever. Like, it was fun to do. So yeah, I would say you should fucking finish it, you know? Because you started it, you know, and it is a good idea, you know. That's the thing. You can't let the intrusive thoughts win and convince you that it's not a good idea or it's not worth doing, because it fucking is. So just do it, you know. just fuck it.
Appreciate that. I needed to hear that, so thank you.
Yeah,
That
no, of course, man, of course, because I can tell, man. Like you got a fucking, you know, you got a mind, man. You got a brilliant mind. So absolutely should be putting things out into the world, because there's a lot of idiots that are doing, you know, a lot of putting things out into the world, you know. So
This is
it's
true.
like, you've seen the movie Idiocracy, right?
Do not let.
Was that sorry?
Sorry, Skits, you were gonna say something. You say it.
Yes, if you guys. Yeah. So if you're gonna have any type of insanity, do not let it live rent free. Use
That's
that
great.
to, yeah, use it. Like I said, I've been diagnosed as schizophrenic forever. I use it for my own entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably do more with it, but like for now, my entertainment is just fine.
No should, bro. Hey, don't listen to the shoulds, man.
For sure will.
Yeah, like Adam said, you have this idea whether you have to take breaks or not. I have a few breaks that I'm getting ready to take on some big stuff in my life, just because I need to step away from it for a little bit. I need to, you know, just be done for a minute before I fuck it all up. All right, and if it's gonna get fucked up, I'm gonna eventually leave that to the hands of those fucks down at the league office. I don't need to be in charge of the ringer.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah. No, thank you guys.
Yeah, dude.
Helps a lot.
Absolutely. No, and it's, you know, yeah, it taught me a lot, the book thing. And I just hope I can share that, because I feel like everyone has like an idea of this size, you know, like it is manageable, you know, it's just one book, you know. People write books all the time. And if you do it for yourself, you're gonna be so much happier about it. So anyway, it's my 2 cents. But Yeah, I was gonna say about the movie Idiocracy. I think that is absolutely a real effect that, like, smart people paralyze themselves into action, essentially. And if it happens on a global scale, then the population shifts dramatically. So, but no, I think I'm a believer that consciousness goes through cycles, and that we're in a cycle right now that is like an upward. Consciousness is expanding. Let's just put it that way. And I think that's why Dudeism even exists in the first place, is because people are like, "Holy shit, this movie's deep." Like, what if this movie were so deep you started a religion based on that guy? And he's like, "Yeah, that'd be really funny," and it was really funny. The guy made $1 million. No, I'm just kidding. Probably barely makes anything from it, but that's the dude.
Enough to hit the cash machine.
Right? What do you need that for, dude?
Pay rent late.
Right.
Man for his time and place.
Yeah. All right. Well, Skits, lead us out. What's the closing thoughts here? It's about that time.
I think that our closing thoughts are going to be the exact reason that this entire podcast was created, the exact reason that the meetings before this podcast were created, and something that we have gotten to speak about throughout this entire thing, which was very refreshing, is if you are connected to Dudeism, Dudeism has that connection with you. Right there is your excuse to go out and do whatever you want. And I don't mean rape and pillage. Let's try to keep that on a downward spiral. We're keeping Cal on a 5-day fucking work week, 40 hours, fucking max. But as far as going out and creating a community, I'd never even thought about people who had left the Christian community that would miss that until you'd said something. My exit from organized religion was a lot more fucking asshole. But if you want that community, you think that you could do something great with this, then do it, man. We will come out and see your cycle.
Hell yeah.
That's not a problem. Rent's probably going to be late, but we will come out and we will see your cycle.
It's all good, man.
And,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And even little bits are cool. It's like, if you have that vision, then whatever dudely pace is, it is what it is. And sometimes the pace gets fast. It's just,
I want to get this application done and bylaws written. So yeah, if you guys want, I'd seriously love to talk to you guys about it. Let me know.
Sweet. Sounds great, man. That's awesome. I mean, then I wouldn't have to look for another guest. So we'll just have Arch back, talk about the bylaws, and then we'll have a call-in. I thought, hell yeah, we could have just like a call-in show, Just give them.
We can have it on TikTok as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Just I'll put it on. I should have done that tonight. I don't know what I was thinking. So, well, next time, though.
Well, but if it's on TikTok, then aren't they going to be upset about the what have you?
I don't know. I'll point the camera slightly away when
works.
We'll see.
Yeah. Like, okay. Just look at the ceiling. Hey, everybody. Yeah. All right. Well, Arch, we appreciate you joining us, man. This was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the opportunity. It was a lot of fun.
Of course. So, yeah, do it again sometime. And until then, you Duderinos, take it easy. I know that you will. And the dude abides.
Abide on.
Take her easy.